Firstly, the government's chief fire advisor has been paying a visit to the county today, and it's been an opportunity for Shropshire Fire and Rescue Service to explain the impact the cuts have had and to ask the government to be spared further cuts. Here in the studio to say how it went, we have Shropshire's Chief Fire Officer Paul Raymond and Stuart West from the Shropshire Fire Authority. Gentlemen, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Paul, starting with you, what sort of savings have you been forced to make so far?
We've had to make significant savings, around about £4 million between 2010 and 2015, which has been very difficult to achieve. But working with staff and consulting with the public, we've got plans in place to do that. And all along we said to government that we do our part in making a fair part of the cuts and taking our fair share. And today really was about going through those cuts, what we've actually been doing with Sir Ken, perhaps giving him some ideas for other fire authorities who are not perhaps as advanced in making the cuts as we are here in Shropshire. And just going through some of the examples of how we are being very efficient at delivering a fire service with a lot less money.
What would the impact be, though, of future cuts?
Well, that's, I think, where the difficulty really comes. Again, we said to MPs and to ministers at the very early stages that there's only so much you can take out of a service. And we've come to that position now, so any further cuts will see impacts on the front line, and we'll see the people of Shropshire facing a diminished service across Shropshire, Telford and Wrekin.
You're sat there in front of Sir Ken Knight. What did you tell him today to convince him that there is no need for further cuts, which I imagine is what you were telling him today?
Yes, I mean, we were reiterating again about the fairness of the cuts and making sure that every man, woman and child in Shropshire shouldn't be disadvantaged by the cuts that are currently, clearly, in our view, unfair. If you think that from 2010 to 2013, every person in Shropshire, Telford and Wrekin has in effect had £4 taken off them to deliver their fire service, whereas if those same people lived in Staffordshire, they'd have only had £1.25 taken off them. And I think we reiterated that in lots of different ways to Sir Ken, but telling him that enough is enough and there's only so much that we can do, and clearly my job as a Chief Fire Officer is to protect the people of Shropshire, and that's going to be very difficult for me to do with even less money if we face further cuts.
Stuart, bringing you in, how difficult has it been to find the savings so far?
Well, it has been very difficult, but working with staff and with public consultations that we've done, we've managed to implement cuts that have not affected so far the frontline service. I think if you ask any members of the public that have unfortunately had to call the fire service out, they haven't seen any reduction at all. They've been quite pleased. But as Paul has already said, going into the future, more cuts will certainly affect we'll see a reduction in the frontline service that we can achieve.
Do you think today's meeting will make any difference?
I'd like to think it would. Sir Ken Knight took a lot of information away from us. I think we are an efficient brigade. We have been efficient for a long time. This hasn't happened purely because of the cuts. We 2004 onwards, we've made lots of efficiencies that have made Shropshire, in actual fact, one of the best performing fire authorities in England, and that was recognised by the Audit Commission. But as I say, to take out further efficiencies, we've already taken them. So other brigades might find that relatively easy to do because they haven't had to do or haven't made those efficiencies in the past. But we're now getting to the point where there's not much meat left on the bone, shall we say.
I know tomorrow your authority is looking at sharing resources with colleagues at Hereford and Worcester. Is that another way of saving money potentially?
Well, we already share services with Hereford and Worcester. We work in collaboration with them, but the proposals that we're putting forward to our fire authority and Hereford and Worcester are putting to theirs will certainly amalgamate that more. We have a way of working together that will make us more efficient and give a much better coverage, much better service to the people of Shropshire and hopefully to the people of Hereford and Worcester as well.
And Paul, finally, these cuts, does it actually make you more determined as a fire service to do the best job that you possibly can?
Yes, I don't think that's changed really. Every single one of my team, all the firefighters and all the staff working in the offices are trying to do the best they possibly can with diminishing resources, and they'll carry on doing that and try to deliver the best possible service for the people of Shropshire, Telford and Wrekin.
Paul and Stuart, thank you both for coming in. It's Paul Raymond and Stuart West. Paul Raymond, the Chief Fire Officer for Shropshire. Stuart West from the Shropshire Fire Authority. It's 5:22.